There are 5 core phases to help leadership build and make decisions upon trusted business information. The first is we have to help leadership know what matters. What matters to an organization is defined inside the strategy, and the best practice for taking a snapshot of that strategy is a balanced scorecard and a strategy map. So, in this example, Southwest Airlines, which has been widely published, their strategic objectives financially are all about optimization of assets. Let's have fewer planes and more passengers. To do that, they take a look at their core customer objectives. In this case, their customers want on-time flights and lower cost, and that'll help us gain more passengers. How are they going to achieve these conflicting objectives? Well, for them, fast ground turnaround time allows them to get the airplanes in the air more, which reduces their costs and increases their on-time flight performance. To do this, they need to educate and compensate people for process redesign. The net is this strategy map describes to everyone in the organization what they should be focusing in on. Now, in addition to this, they might want to apply the weightings that tell us for this year how important these 2 different objectives. Now, eventually, once we've helped the organization understand what matters, we now need to begin to monitor our performance, but we have to do it with trusted data. So often we go to leadership teams that tell us they have lots of data but no information. They don't trust it and they can't believe it to make their decisions. And the dilemma is this, that there's many organizations have data that's readily available, but the data itself isn't necessarily clean. If we take a look at any core process in an organization, if we had a decision in this world before you around some field sales activities, we may eventually drill through field sales to partner channels, to customers and major accounts, through transaction processing, manufacturing, again through major accounts down to, say, worldwide customer support. By the time we've drilled through the data to that level, we've gone through 7 major systems, neither of which are likely to be well reconciled or aligned in their data. Creating this trusted data becomes an important step to being able to populate the strategy map with some simple performance indicators. We now have a balanced scorecard. The third step is now to help leadership understand where to look. If one of those objectives is not performing well, where should we be looking in our organization? Well, we should be able to list next to each objective our core processes and understand where each process supports each strategic objective. In fact, if we took it a step further and rated and ranked how well each process was performing, we'd eventually be able to give the level of process support to each strategic objective a score. And from that, begin to understand where our processes and projects line up to support our overall strategic intent. Obviously, if I have a performance issue in any one objective, let's say customer intimacy, I should be able to take a look at the performance indicators for the related processes and projects and understand how those processes and projects will link to create that overall objective performance that we're looking for. And again, we need to put this into a snappy carrying case to make it widely available in the organization so that everyone can see the same information that leadership does and make the same decisions. From here, we then have to help management know what to do. We need to take those strategic drivers that we identified and the process and project linkage and build more detailed dashboards that provide data for us on a more timely basis that's intended for the process experts inside that part of the organization. So in this environment, we now have the final step of making sure that what we've asked to occur really happens. To do this, we need to build information systems that support how management thinks. We have to provide a 30,000-foot strategic view to allow us to prioritize our work, a 20,000-foot operational view to allow us to understand what's happening, a 10,000-foot diagnostic tool to allow us to be directional, and finally some analytic tools to allow us to be prescriptive. What we've seen here is that 30,000-foot strategic view comes through a strategy map. The 20,000-foot view comes from what we'll call an impact diagram. We should be able to drill down to the process and projects that impact that strategic objective with the same cleansed data to allow us to make informed decisions about what root cause analysis is occurring. And then from there, we now need to drill down into sort of operational dashboards that present the strategic information and the clean data in a context that allows operational managers to take daily, weekly, and perhaps even monthly views of the data to ensure what they're doing is aligned to the strategy. And then finally, we may need to drill down to the business intelligence layer at the bottom. So overall, we have to track how management thinks through the information that we provide to them in this trusted environment.